Hey, this is Russ. Yeah, I'm back in the car again. Yeah, this is the day after I did the Volo Auto Museum video with the Batmobile, the DeLorean, and all sorts of other fun cars. Yeah, I had a lot of fun going there. I didn't show you guys everything on that video. The museum is actually quite huge, so what I thought I'd do was just show you some highlights of some of the movie cars. But we'll go and take a look again, and we'll take a look at some of the actual classic cars that are, I guess, more standard. Not really sure what they call it. It's not a movie car. They're just regular cars that's been restored and available for sale. Yeah, that place is really something different. It is a museum because it does have the movie cars in there, and of course, if you just look at the restored cars as museum pieces, it is a museum, but they sell those restored cars. They don't sell the movie cars. Okay, you cannot buy the Batmobile. Well, actually, you can buy a Batmobile if you wanted to. There's a guy, I think, that makes Batmobiles. But the one that they have there, they claim, is not a recreation Batmobile, but an actual one that was licensed. It's actually signed by George Barris, who, of course, is the guy who created the Batmobile for the 1966 television series. So I've always enjoyed cars, as you might know. You always see me as I'm driving past some cars. I'll say, "Hey, look at that one!" I could never afford any of these things, of course, and I don't see myself ever owning anything like that. Although I wouldn't mind. One of the guitarists at our church asked me if I had an option to get a car. Price was no object. Didn't have to worry about gas or anything like that. Which car would you buy? I had to think about that. I said I'd probably get a Corvette. Yeah, I'd probably get a recent model year Corvette. Kind of like those. Then he asked me what color, and I couldn't figure what color it would be. But no, there's cars that are obviously more practical. But yeah, I think every guy wants to have some type of sports car once in his life, right? Never had one. Don't see myself getting one. I'd have to make a lot of money on YouTube in order to afford something like that. No, I think the best I've ever had was I've had two Lexuses in the past, ES300 Lexuses. I had a black one and I had a white one. Yeah, that was just before I started buying these Hyundais. And you might wonder, why do you go from a Lexus to a Hyundai? Well, I'll tell you, the Hyundai really has everything I need. It's got a lot of technology in this car. It looks really nice. It drives very well. Sure, it doesn't have the same comfort level as the Lexuses had. It's got cloth seats. I usually put these seat covers on the car seats now. It's got cloth seats, and yeah, it doesn't feel as luxurious as the Lexus cars, but I have nobody to impress at this point. I'm too old. I don't care anymore. I'm okay with the Hyundai. And the Hyundai, actually, the nice part about this Elantra is that it is not very expensive compared to other cars. It's not their bottom of the line. I think they do have one car below this. I think it's called the Accent. And so it's really the second to the bottom of the line Hyundai. But I'll tell you, I've owned 3 of these Hyundai Elantras now. Well, I've at least 3. This is the 3rd least, but I bought this one. And I'm perfectly happy with it. Actually, we're passing a Lexus car dealership here right now. So, yeah, I decided if it has all the features I really need. I mean, I like the fact that it has lane keep assist, which is the thing that keeps, if I just let go of the steering wheel and just drove, as long as there's 2 lines on the road that the camera could see, it'll send the car off. It'll even turn for me. I'm not kidding. I've been on the roads where I've just let go of the steering wheel. I just kind of hover over it, right, with my hands, and it'll turn the car. It'll keep you centered in that lane. Eventually, if you don't touch the steering wheel, it knows nothing's controlling it, and it'll give you a warning saying, hey, put your hands on the steering wheel. And then it also has that braking system that if you become too close and it feels that you're accelerating, you're going to hit something, it'll start beeping at you. I don't know whether it actually hits the brakes, but I think it kind of does. I've never gotten to that point, but I've had it where it beeped on me. It says you're a little too close, and it'll start beeping. So it has some of these advanced features that are kind of cool. You know, it's got the Apple CarPlay in here, so I've got the full GPS and all that stuff. I got Sirius XM radio, which I have a free 3-month subscription to, which doesn't cost me anything. Free is the key word, I told you guys. I probably will not renew it. I got it when I first got the car, and then, you know, I brought the car in for basic servicing, and they gave me another 3 months to try it. So I said, okay, well, if you're going to give it to me, I'll try it. But yeah, I won't be renewing it. I don't use it enough to make it pay off. And now I'm actually not even listening to radio sometimes because I'm talking to you guys in the car for these videos. So yeah, that's my history with cars. Now we ride a bike, right? Ride an e-bike too. So yeah, you know, people have asked me, you know, why don't you ride your e-bike to Costco? I've done that a couple times. I've ridden it to the Mount Prospect Costco. I've ridden it to the Schaumburg Costco, but I don't ride it to this other one. Now, people have asked me, where's this current Costco that I go to? It's Lake Zurich. Lake Zurich is it's the further northwest, but yeah, you can't at this one. I mean, the road that I'm driving on right now is really the only real road I can actually get to the Costco on, and this road will do. You know, people are riding 50, 55 miles an hour sometimes. I'm not going to ride my e-bike on something like this. So yeah, I don't ride it. Plus, where would I put it? I mean, the other times that I've ridden my bike to the Costco is the Mount Prospect Costco. I've ridden it past there. I've never left it there or anything like that. I have left the bike at the Schaumburg one, but that's because my buddy Fishing Jim was with me. He was watching the bike when I went in and got the pizzas and all that other stuff. So, but no, I wouldn't do that. You know, some people are okay leaving their bike locked up, but I don't trust it. Yeah, I don't leave it unattended. Even when I go pick up mail at the post office box, which is really a UPS store, I still lock the bike up in front of the store. It's not locked to anything. It's just locked to itself, but it'll keep someone from rolling the bike away. And I'm only in there for less than like 30 seconds. So, and I'm always looking at the bike when I'm in there. So anyone trying to mess with the bike, I would know it. Plus the UPS employees would see it too, because they're looking right out the window as well. So that's the only place I actually will leave it, but I still lock it. Yeah, you should always lock your bike. So anyway, I'm headed to my favorite place, of course. We will do more videos at the Volo Auto Museum. That's why I bought a year's pass. I'll show you some of the other classic cars when I get a chance. And there's a lot more other movie cars in there too. I haven't shown it all. I just made a quick 10-minute or so video for you guys, just so you can see. And I wanted to see how this DJI Action 5 Pro camera would do indoors, and it does perfectly well, but it's fairly well lit in there. They've got a lot of fluorescent lights all over the place. So yeah, so I renewed it for 1 year. Somebody asked how much is the admission. It's like $25 if you go for a single time, and if you just do the car museum, because they have like the Titanic Museum, which I don't think is a real big deal. I don't think it's really artifacts from Titanic. It's probably just things that kind of, oh, this is what the era looked like, so they find some old things and say it kind of looked like this. I don't know, maybe they have one or two Titanic things in there, but I can't see them having it, really. I've seen the actual Titanic artifacts. It came through the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago 1 year. They set it all up. It was really nice. I mean, it was a really nice setup. I've seen the actual artifacts from Titanic before, and I think Chicago actually has a Titanic thing going on still. But no, I wouldn't pay to go into that. And then they have a crime and punishment section too, where they show things like electric chairs and all sorts of other things. But it used to be free at one time when I had my membership before. They've expanded it, of course, and then he turned it into a separate section. They have a World War II section too, which I think is still free, the military thing, but it was closed when I went. They're doing some refurbishing. They'll probably end up charging for that too, finding ways to charge for stuff. But if you just do the car museum, it's $25. I paid $60 for the year's membership, which is worth it for me because I will go there multiple times throughout the year. Man, I got an itch on my nose. I'll go there multiple times throughout the year, so it's worth it for me. I mean, if you go more than 2 times, if you go 2.5 times, you basically paid for that $60. And yeah, I actually enjoy going there. My wife wonders why I want to keep going all the time, but you know, I just like looking at the old cars. It's just a thing that I do. What can I say? Plus, you know, I don't live that far from the place. It's about a half hour. So I'm driving now to Costco. So it's about twice the distance of Costco. I think I said it was halfway to Costco. No, what I meant is it takes me about 10 to 15 minutes to get to Costco. Another 15 minutes more and I would be at the museum. So it's about a half hour drive for me. It's not that bad. It's all on one road. It's all on this road all the way down until you run into it. So it's, how hard is it to get there, right? Anyway, so we'll see more of the cars over time. I don't know how many of you guys will be watching it. I was looking at the analytics before I left here, and you know, I could have put it on a e-bike video day, but I said no, I'm going to put it on the Russ Talks day, knowing full well that that would mean less people would see it. But it's okay. We'll eventually build it up. All right. Well, anyway, I'm almost at Costco, so appreciate you guys watching, keeping me company as I drive, telling you some little details, little odds and end things that it's always on my mind, but I don't get a chance to actually do it on some of the more structured videos. Oh, somebody asked me too, what's the purpose of having music in the background of that video? Well, it's for ambience, really, you know, because if you're not talking while you're in the museum, which I was doing, by the way, I just couldn't use the footage because the copyrighted music was playing overhead while we were there. So YouTube will stop that video by demonetizing the video and then put a strike against you for using music that's copyrighted. And so this person can't drive or something. Okay, now that she's trying to get into the parking space, it's locking me up. So anyways, so yeah, you can't use any music in the background that is copyrighted music. So the music I put behind it was music from YouTube, and I just put some jazz music on it. And the reason we do it is for ambience, because if I'm just simply talking in a studio type environment, which is what I was doing with the microphone for the narration of that video, if you just do that, it's kind of dead sounding. Yeah, I mean, even when you do an e-bike video, you're outside, you kind of have the ambience of the outside while you're doing your commentary. And so he asked, you know, what's the purpose of having music when someone's doing a commentary? Is to give you some background. I mean, otherwise a dead studio sound is really quiet. I mean, even in here, you can hear a little bit of the road noises. You can hear the heater kicking in, but without anything, it's really dead. So a lot of times people will put music in the background just to fill the dead air, just to give you a little bit of ambience and the like. Whether you like it or you don't, I mean, I know some people would absolutely hate it, but I felt it was too dead sounding without it. So I don't know, put a comment below. Do you like having the music behind it, or would you have rather heard that thing totally without anything? Because it would literally sound like I'm in a very non-reverberant room. Well, sometimes you might hear some of it because the environment that I record in has very tall ceilings, and you would hear my particular room environment that I'm recording that in. But you know, it's just not the same. So a lot of times people will put music in the background because of that. So, and I was debating which music to do too, because I had a couple of music's running, and I tried it and said, yeah, okay, this doesn't cut it, this doesn't work. And I felt that the jazz music was probably best to put it on that particular video. But let me know in the comments. All right, and also let me know what you thought about the Volo Museum, if you'd like to see more of that. I hope you do, because I bought a year's worth of pass to go, and I will be going. So I figure if I'm already going to be going, I might as well record some of it too. Yeah, a little chilly now. I got up today, and as I usually do, I listened to what the weather report will be. Apparently it snowed a little bit last night. I see some snow on the ground. I don't know if you can see it. You might not be able to see it out of the windows here, but very light dusting of snow. Okay, not much, right? Well, then I went further and I took a look at what the forecast might be, and they said Chicago is expected to get up to 2 inches of snow within the next week, but more specifically in the north and northwest portions of Chicago. Guess where I live? Northwest suburbs of Chicago. So yeah, I said, well, I'm gonna have to get some gas in the little gas container, because I don't have any gas to put inside the snowblower. Yeah, I've been saying I needed to get the gas in there eventually, but now I'm going to have to do it because it's going to snow. Yeah, so I use a pretty big snowblower. I've shown it before on the channel. I'll show you again. I'll show you what it is inside my garage. I actually have 2 snow machines. One's a big one, as you can see. That's made by a company called Cub Cadet, I believe. And then I have a small Toro snow thrower that used to be my dad's. Yeah, he gave it to his sister, my aunt, before they ended up moving to Florida in their retirement days, because he didn't need it anymore if he was moving to Florida. my mom and dad's passed on, of course, but so my aunt gave it to me because she says, oh, I don't need it. So she gave it to me, and I still have it. Now that little thing is electric, so you have to have it plugged in, and it's really kind of tough to deal with. I've had different types of snow machines in the past. I had another one that my sister-in-law gave me, but it was the type that, you know, you had to mix with oil and gas. Yeah, that's not good. Don't get those. You smell like gasoline all day long if you get those type of things. Yeah, so I got the type that you don't need to mix oil with it. It's just a regular gas engine. And of course, it's a big chomping machine. Now, when I first bought that one, I bought it at Costco. Of course, where else would I get it? I think it was something like maybe around $750, something like that, that range. Probably a lot more now, but we bought it. And then I said, well, it should be good for the snow. We had a fairly long driveway, and yeah, it didn't snow much that year. I go, wow, what a waste, you know. Then we ended up moving, and in our current home, which we've been in for many years now, doesn't have as big of a driveway. I says, oh, I'm not going to need this thing. It's just so short. You know what? That thing has come in handy. Yeah, as you get older, you don't want to be doing any type of lifting. That thing will chomp up snow and just toss it out of there. It's a big chomping type of snowblower. So I'm glad I have it. I hope it continues to work and doesn't fall apart on me. But I think if it ever were to die out, I'd get another one that's kind of like that type. Yeah. Yeah, even for small amounts of snow, it does a good job. And of course, it's self-propelled. You know, when I had the knee replacement done, Mrs. Wright had to go out and use that thing to blow snow. She's never really done it before, so she had to use it. And I think she did it 2 or 3 times, something like that. And then eventually I went out there, even with my bad knee, because really you're not pushing, you're just kind of like guiding it, because the self-propelled motor of it kind of moves it along, right? You just have to guide it and decide, you know, what you want it to do and where you want the snow to be thrown. So yeah, that's kind of a necessity in our area. You need a good snow thrower, not the little electric one. The little electric one actually is good for small things, you know, but you know, having to have it plugged in and then that electric cord dragging behind you, you know, and if you have a long driveway like we did, it's kind of a pain. I still have it because it works. It's just that, you know, I don't need it since I have the big machine. I use it as a backup at this point. If something were to happen with the other one, at least I have another thing I could use. It's not the greatest, but you know, I don't have to buy two of them then, right? I already have a small one. So anyway. Yeah, it's kind of an overcast day right now, and that's only because I think it's going to get ready to snow again. Forecast shows next 2 days we should have a little bit of snow, but who knows? You can never tell. You know, they predict things, you just don't know if you're going to get it, that's all. But you got to be prepared for it, so I got to get gas. So I was at Costco. You might wonder, why didn't I get gas there? Well, you know, once you put the gas inside those gas containers, and it's in my trunk, the whole trunk will smell like gas. So I figured I'd go to a gas station that's closer to home, and then the travel time to get home will be shorter, you know, a couple minutes and I'll be home, versus if I get it at Costco, you know, I got a 10-15 minute drive to get back home, then the whole car will smell like gasoline. I don't want that. So I'll pay a little bit more at the other place. Ugh, hate paying more. But in this case, it makes sense to do that. So how's the weather in your area? Are you guys getting snow? I know certain parts of the U.S., I'm sure you guys have already got snow, but we haven't gotten much of anything. I mean, snowed a little bit, was it maybe a week or two ago? Very little, you know, again, very light flurries, and it doesn't really stay. But yeah, I think it's eventually going to be coming. They were wondering if we would get a white Christmas this year, and they said that Chicago only had like 2 white Christmases in the last 10 years or something like that. So it hasn't really been that much, but I think this year might be different. The weather's been really crazy this year. You know, it's stopped me from riding many times, and the weather's been hot and cold and hot and cold. I mean, yeah, global warming, like they say, right? All right, anyways, that's about all I wanted to talk about on my way back from Costco. You know, getting ready for winter time. Though technically it's still not yet winter. I mean, I feel funny saying winter when it really isn't, but it really sure feels like it, right? You know, end of fall really feels like winter to me. All right, anyways, if you guys like this video, hit the like button. Let me know in the comments below, that guy just went right through a red light. Let me know in the comments below if you have a snowblower, if you use it. What kind of snowblower do you use? Who makes it? What type is it? Is it these 2-stroke, 4-stroke type engines? Is it a big one? Is it a small one? Do you use a snow thrower, or do you use a snow blower? You know, that Toro, that small one that I have, is kind of sweeps it, really. It kind of like sweeps it up and then tosses it out, right? It's good for lightweight snow. Heavy duty snow, like wet snow, forget it. Clog that thing right up. Let me know your snow experiences in the past, and if you have anything now, let me know what's going on out there too. All right, I'll talk to you guys next time.